Robbie has done a little bit of running and he probably hasn't done a lot. We're sort of really looking after him, so the likelihood is very doubtful. There's a slim chance, but I'd say if you had to put money on it, he won't play.
And so what's your plan B?
Oh, well, Hampson's been in pretty good form, and his ruck work, I think his numbers for the year at AFL level are pretty good as well. So he would just come straight in, and the temptation to bring Matty Cruiser is there, but I don't think we'd be doing Matty justice by bringing him straight back in the team.
And Henderson, he was
yeah, his name will be thrown up. He played really well. I think he took around 8-9 marks, so it looked like he's just getting that run and lateral pace back into his game.
Who's he competing with a spot for? Is it Satana?
It is Satana, or the option to maybe go with 3 tools, which probably hasn't been something that we've done this year, but it's one option that we do have up our sleeve where Andrew Walker can play as the 3rd tool, or actually play as another midfielder as well, and play around the wing and forward. So we've sort of got that option if we want to go that way.
What about Jay? Has he got the all clear?
Yeah, he's fine. He got the all clear on Sunday, had a scan, everything's fine. We'll just look after him. There's no need to... He did running today and we just kept him out of contact.
Does Brock McLean get a run against us off the top?
We haven't had match committee yet, but it's interesting. I think people, to ask Brock, that's his first game in 12 months. So for him to get his body right and get some continuity back in his footy was really good. His form going into the game was good. He won a fair bit of the footy. We had a debate whether we take Brocky off. Maybe because he hasn't played at AFL level, we thought maybe take him off and bring Mitch into the game, which we did. But I think in the AFL at the moment, he's second in the pressure count. So I think that's what he did inside the bubble was very, very good for us. So he won a bit of the ball. He pressured pretty well. So I think that was a plus for him. It's a hard transition when you're not in the team and then you have to come into the team and perform straight away. So I thought he did okay.
It sounds pretty positive then, doesn't it?
I think there's a lot of positives. I think what we've had this year more than any other year is our depth has been really good, Robbo. So we've had the ability to maybe change because of personnel. I thought, White's performance against some of the teams and he actually had to come out because of a matchup. We went with Watson against Dawes and Cloak. So just from the personnel point of view, I thought White's performance was okay, but we actually went past him because we needed something for the team. And I think that's what the beauty of this sort of list at the moment is. We have the flexibility, and the form of some individuals allows us to chop and change depending on who we play.
For your opposition this week, you have to be aware of the wounded footy club, in this case Melbourne. They're walking wounded, their form's down, but they're back at the G. Do you have to be aware and drum that into the players?
I don't think we have to be wary. I think the players have already indicated that this morning in regards to what Melbourne have done at the G. Their last opponent was, I think it was Adelaide there, and the way they just, won the footy and just counter-attacked brilliantly from their back 50. So that'll be our challenge as a group to maybe limit that. But yeah, we've got to be very mindful. They can play exceptional offensive footy and really defend well as well. So we need to make sure that the challenges that we've set from week to week doesn't change depending on who the opposition. Our focus needs to be very simple, and the way we applied ourselves in the first 8-9 rounds is something that we need to make sure that continues.
Brett, Murphy spoke about Nick Duggan and just the perception, I suppose, of sort of the player having demonstrative words with a teammate during the game. Is it something you felt necessary to talk to him about?
I think it's always one that it's how your body language towards other people and things like that. There's probably a little bit of frustration, but when you look behind it, it was to get success for the team, and sometimes the way you approach it, you can actually tinker with that. And he's a psychologist, and we spoke about how you do it. But yeah, he was mindful. Maybe he was a little bit frustrated at the time. There's no doubt about it. There was frustration by a lot of people. It was a soft goal, and in the context of the game, it was a very easy goal that they kicked to the line. It didn't get punched through or didn't get put through for a point. Why is that? And I think that was the frustration of not just Nick, but a lot of men in that.
Tricky mix for Nick, that you want him there for his maturity, obviously, but he's been there 5 minutes as well and almost has to know his place.
I think that's the beauty with having players that are driven and they want to succeed, is that they push the envelope. They challenge not just themselves, but they challenge other individuals. And I think that's what we've seen through Ed Curnow, Nick Daigan and these types. They want to succeed in this game, and sometimes maybe you do cross the line a little bit, but that's fine. What he's trying to do is get the ultimate team success for us, and we've had a chat about it, and you probably won't see it again.
It happened twice though, perhaps. One to Brett talking, one to the umpire with Nick.
Yep.
Is that correct? So, as Tommy said, is it a little bit of an issue? Maybe your own teammates fine, but certainly not just demonstrative towards the umpire.
I think sometimes frustration can bubble over in individuals through certain parts of the game. We've had a chat about it. But what I don't want to take away from Nick Daigan is his spirit and the way he plays the game. To run back with the flight of the ball and do what he does. I think sometimes, maybe you might express yourself with your body language or things like that, maybe a little bit over the top. But I don't want to change the way Nick attacks the footy and that he goes about his foot.
Just bear in mind that you just maybe rein it in a fraction.
Just tinker with it. Demand the absolute most out of your teammates and yourself, but just be mindful of your body language and towards others.
What's the next increment for Matty Cruiser?
He'll go to about 75% this week, and then we'll have a look at increasing that to probably around 80, 85, and then we'll have to make a call whether he's ready to come into seniors. And Houlihan's in the same boat. He'll go to about 85 this week, and we'll have a look at him the following week.
So have to move into the centre a bit this week? Or?
Ryan?
No.
Matty?
Matty, yeah.
We'll have a look at that. I think, maybe more in the second half of the game. We probably won't expose him to a lot of the knee contact just straight up, but we'll put him in some of the environments. Depends if it's more ball ups and boundary throw-ins than centre bounce contact.
So what was the result of what? The mishap towards the...
Just his medial. He's hurt his medial, so that's sort of anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. We've. I think we get some scans, or the specialist will look at him again today, so they'll make a call on that. But I think that's about the third time this year that he's hurt that knee. So it's more of a landing issue than anything else, I think.
Brett, Murphy said last night he's confident of having a new deal locked away with the club very soon. That must be reassuring for you, particularly with GWS looking for a number of big name players for next year.
Yeah, Mark's, what he's done this season is, he's got his body right to do a full pre-season, and he's just really evolved as one of the elite midfielders of the competition, and we're really confident that he would sign. But going forward, he's a part of our success, future, leadership, the whole lot. He's just a great individual, and it'd be great to have him on board for, hopefully he's a Carlton player for life.
The story about betting leaks in the papers this morning, is that something that concerns you as a coach of the club, or
haven't seen the article? What did it entail?
It's just in regards to recent plunges on what's described as exotic wages and the leaking of sensitive information. Not a concern at all?
This morning we were working about game plans and things like that, so I actually haven't seen the papers, and so that's an AFL issue. I think the AFL have dealt with a lot of the betting things with notes that have gone round to, or messages gone round to clubs about people that work for football clubs that can't pass that information on. I think it's very good. How they monitor it, I don't know, but I think there shouldn't be any betting from people from football clubs on football games.
Within the club itself, though, Brett, you wouldn't feel it. You'd be confident that no one within the club would leak information about tactical or positional moves that you're planning for the upcoming weekend.
I'd be pretty disappointed if people are, and if they are, and I find out, they won't be at our football club.
Would you say that?
Yeah, I would. Yep.
Terminate the contract straight away?
Yep.
For just the integrity of the game, or the integrity of health?
I think if staff members, I think from a player's point of view, you'd have to actually look at the evidence and have a look at that. I think, what it is, and before you just react to it. But I think for staff, to be involved in an AFL football club, it's a very privileged position, and to really exploit it for personal gain or things like that, I think you shouldn't be working at a football club. So that's where I sit with it personally. That's my view. I don't know about anyone else, but if you're trying to use your position to get gain through monetary reasons or things like that, I think you shouldn't be involved in the game.
So if a player, found out a player did it,
I think we'd have to have a look at the evidence before we jumped on that, Robbo, but I think it would be taken extremely serious, and I wouldn't like to be put in that position if I was the player, because I don't think it would come out favourably.